It seems
Recorded.
like we were celebrating the new year, and now here we are in a brand new month already. It is month three of 2025, and it just reminds us how fast time will pass. And guess what? We better get off to the races. And so, yes, this is officially March Madness, okay? But before we get into some of the details, regarding March, I do want to give a shout out to everyone who finished February strong. Oh my goodness, I have a lot of phenomenal new ranks to share. So we want to congratulate everyone who stepped in there and showed up and showed out. And so first I want to start by just sharing the meaning of Akana means in the hands of God. Our mission, we believe health, wealth, freedom, and legacy are our birthright. By offering the most life-changing products and an innovative business, we empower people to elevate to their full potential. So there is a lot going on this week. In fact, a lot going on even today. I'll get into all of that, but I do want to take a moment to pause to really ask for your prayers and your support. For those of you who might not know, on Friday, I did celebrate my birthday, but also too, we celebrated the homegoing for my grandfather. So he actually passed on Friday. We're going to be doing an official celebration of his life in a couple of weeks. But I just want to ask for your support, with my family and with myself, just to uplift us at this time. But I will let you know, yes, it was a sad day and we mourned, but my grandfather, passed at 96 years young, okay? And so we know that he lived such a rich, such a fulfilling life. In fact, we kind of knew that it was coming those last few days. He kept having visits from my grandmother. He literally kept saying how he married the best woman in town, and he just kept seeing her. And we knew those days were numbered. I was praying that it wasn't going to happen on my birthday, but that morning he woke up so alert. The crazy part about it, his mind, right, it was sharper than someone probably in their 30s. Just a vivid memory, just such a great memory. And so many times as we age, that's what we worry about, right? Our memory. And so just sharp as a tack. And what took him out was something that actually began about 30 years ago when he actually had a bout of cancer, he had thyroid cancer, and overcame that. About 8 months ago, it started coming back. And he lost his battle on Friday. But again, I know he's in such a better place. This is a man who was married to my grandmother for 73 years, okay? And up until she took her last breath, they were always together every time you see them. And even up until finally he couldn't drive anymore, he would drive every day, literally every single day. We live in a small town. I think the graveyard is about, a couple of miles maybe away from his home, but he would get up every day, drive to visit my grandmother on Valentine's, her birthday, bring her flowers. And so this is a man who just lived an extraordinary life of integrity, 9 children, just a stand-up man. We celebrated him for his 95th birthday, and it was amazing how many men came out because of the work he did, just really helping to inspire men just to step up and really be better for your family, for your wives. And so he just, again, was such an example of how to be a man of integrity, a man of faith. And we just love and adore him so much. But we are also celebrating the fact that he is reunited with the love of his life. And he was the love of her life, because they both said that about each other. And so again, we're going to celebrate him in a couple of weeks, but just wanted to let each and every one of you know. Also, too, I want to thank the team last night. We were actually on the radio, but they actually did our certification, the 3rd certification already for 2025. We are just rolling, okay? And so great job to you, Kathy, Kayada, for all that you do to give so much support. Great job to you, Dr. Betty Willie Mooney, and just everyone who plays any type of role. I know Dr. Yakima typically participates in that as well. So everyone who has been participating, we want to thank you. And the party continues tonight, because we will do our wellness influencer training tonight. So I look forward to that training. So if you are registered for certification because you bought a qualifying pack, you automatically are qualified to attend this training. It's going to be on the same link that we do our normal certification. So you can just utilize whatever link you already have. And we're going to go into some cool things that you can do to really accelerate your business. There's ways that a lot of times we can condense time frames when we understand the power of some of the tools right in front of us to build our businesses fast and big. And so we're going to talk about that because there's a lot of cool tools we've been utilizing on the corporate side, and we are loving, AI. We are loving just some of the features, and we want to ensure that no one gets left behind, because sometimes when you hear things that seem so intimidating, like artificial intelligence, you can either ignore it, and you're going to allow people to run by you at the speed of light, or you can embrace it, okay? Because it's here, it's not going anywhere, and we just want to use it intelligently, okay? We want to utilize it strategically, and we want to also utilize it to help us save time, okay? Because there's a lot of things that you can do with the power of AI. So we're going to have an influencer training, just kind of teaching some of the tools that you can use to really step up your social media, okay? And even imagine getting a virtual AI assistant that can actually answer some of the responses for you on your social media, your mailbox, and other platforms. So there's just a wealth of information, and we want to make sure we share all of that with you. Also, too, a couple of more things coming up for this month. I do want to announce that we will have a Pisces party this Saturday, okay, at 7:30 p.m. So stay tuned for details that will drop on that. So we're super excited. The team wanted to celebrate me, and we're going to celebrate Tracy Bolton and any Pisces, really. We're calling it a Pisces party, right? But anyone is welcome to come, and we're going to have some phenomenal time. It's going to be something where I have some of my family coming because they just need some of that self-care and some of that pouring back into the cup. So many times as women, we're so running on empty, and who's pouring in your cup? Are you pouring in your own cup? And so this is really a weekend that's going to be phenomenal. There is a spa portion too, but I'm announcing the 7:30 p.m. portion of the nightly festivities on this Saturday, March the 8th. Okay, so I wanted to put that out there. And that will be at the Akana headquarters. Also, too, stay tuned for the hair certification. I know many of you have been on the calls with Doris and Kathy, and so they will have another hair certification coming up in a few weeks. I believe it's on like the 17th of March. So stay tuned for more details. And then, of course, our wellness coach certification will follow that the following week, which I believe is the 24th of March. And so those are two big trainings that you want to make sure you're participating in. And in order for you to participate in the hair certification, you have to enroll in the program and buy your equipment and your products. And so get with customer support if you're not sure what that means and what that looks like. And so now let's get into what's going on right now. Okay, got a lot of great things to celebrate. And I'm going to celebrate those of you who've already qualified. Now, we've been having amnesty all weekend, so there are some points we still have to backdate. So just know if you've seen some of your points backdate, great. But if not, we're going to be backdating a lot of those points. If you want to reserve your points for the month of March, you are free to do that. So you don't have to have your points backdated. So anyone that actually knows you have points in March that you want to calculate for February, please make sure you reach out to us. But what I'm going to tell you is this: if you can hear my voice, and if you have ever hit 500 CV in the history of your business here with Akana, we want to make sure that February doesn't close on you, because guess what? This is amnesty, so you have one more day to make it happen. And so without you having your 500 CV, here's a couple things that's happening. Now, many of you qualified for our trip to Florida. You know that May 15th to the 18th, we're taking, oh my goodness, dozens of people to Florida. So that's going to be a fun, exciting trip. Oh my goodness, that's our 2025. Super excited. Last year, we did the Diamonds in Dubai. So for 2026, we have our phenomenal Bermuda trip that each and every one of you have an opportunity to qualify for. It actually started kicking off in November. So many of you already secured some of your points because you qualified for CV in the month of November. Some of you did it in December. January, a few of you did it, right? But guess what? In February, we're seeing explosive numbers. And here's what's good about that, guys. If you hit it in February, it's almost as if you've made up for January, because we're giving you double the credit, right? Double the CV. So if you would have hit bronze, you're going to hit silver. For those of you who get to 1250, guess what? You're going to actually end up hitting gold, okay? And so this is exciting because we're going to have more recognition. We're going to see so much productivity. And it's really going to spearhead from what you've done in the month of February. And so what that means for your pocketbook is more products, actually even some more cash, okay? More points, which means we're going to also see other ranks. We're going to see people go to pearl. We're going to see people go to jade. Hey, we're going to see some sapphires. And all of that's being calculated because I'm talking about for February. So let's talk about the good news, right? Because in our business, we've been through seasons of massive success. We've been through the highs and we've been through the valleys, okay? And one of the things that I feel and I see, and that's the fact that, the team, really rallied. Our corporate group, I'm telling you, just unstoppable, relentless, right? I mean, just, oh my goodness, so much work that the team has done. I look at the distributors. I see some of you leading from the front. I see how Team Contagious has just stepped up in a big, huge way. And many of the teams around the country, the Diamond, the leadership, whether it's Bernadine, and I see what you're doing, all the way from Florida, but just always there on the Zooms, helping to coach and train. What I'm seeing, Gigi Harris, you're constantly leading from the front out there, showing the world how she's turning 70 is young this year, right? How you can still keep your body in tip-top shape and just look so youthful. It's like amazing, right? We have all these Benjamin Buttons out there. Dr. Betty, you've been in that category. I know Ernestine is another one in that category. And most everybody, I would say, because when I look at our kind of family, we're just one of the most youthful looking groups you'll find, because when you hear about, lifespan and health span, oftentimes post a certain age, we tend to be on lots of medications, and we're not seeing that here. You guys are getting off medications. You're reversing your age. And so I am just so proud of everyone for just showing up and showing out. You're on that social media, showing and posting. Terry Anderson, another one of our diamonds, who's continued to lead from the front. As a raw vegan enthusiast, we've seen the work she's done, and it's amazing how the community, whether it's vegan or vegan raw, she's a brand and name that's out there in the Chicagoland area. And then, of course, we have our fabulous Beverly Blair, who is one of our first diamonds, okay? Just, in fact, outside of the owners, was the first diamond. So Beverly, we just admire all that you do, just such a legacy of growth in this industry, and what you've done to empower, inspire. And here she is, I'm not going to say her age, but I'm telling you what, when you hear her age, it blows my mind. But just, again, another youthful powerhouse that's out there getting it done. And when I think about Team Contagious, of course, under the leadership of Willie Mooney, it's Women's History. So we're going to be celebrating his better half, Ed Mooney. So all of our diamond leaders just know we're going to be celebrating you. We see what you're doing. We see you, Team Contagious. We see you, Willie Mooney. But guess what, Ann Mooney, we're appreciative of your support and what you do. And she also owns a very successful cleaning company. So we're going to actually highlight and spotlight our diamonds this month, because it is Women's History Month. And we want to let every single person know how we have some of the best leaders, okay, best female powerhouses, in the world, and you will be spotlight. We're going to do it week by week. I know this week it's going to be Beverly Blair, so she's getting a big, huge spotlight. I know Kathy and Kayetta are going to be working on, getting those stories out to each and every one of you, so you can learn more about your phenomenal diamonds and the impact they've not only made on our company, but the impact they're making all across the world, okay? And so that's super, super exciting. And so you want to definitely rank up, and you want to do what it takes, okay? Because we're going to be recognizing everyone who ranked up in February. And so let's look at the list, because I do have the list, and it's not done. So don't feel bad if I don't say your name, because I know some of you are like a sneeze away, okay? I already know that because I've seen the numbers, but I'm going to only talk about those of you who've already crossed that 500 threshold, right? Because when you cross that 500 threshold, it pushes you instantly to silver for the purpose of this contest, and you will see those benefits also in your back office, okay? And so we have none other than at silver this month so far, we have Gerald West, we have Mom Mitchell, we have Ernestine Davis, we have Elizabeth Ann Thompson, we have Diana Coleman, we have Bernadine Kirkland, we have Kayana Cooks. And so we are so proud of you, men and women, for stepping up, getting it done. Now, Willie Mooney, you're still at silver, but you're like a sneeze from gold. So I am sure you're going to work it out tonight. So I'm not going to put pressure, but guess what? Let's get it done, okay? And then we have two people that have officially qualified at gold because they hit that 1250 and up threshold. And it's exciting because we see Crystal Robinson on that list, but also, too, we see Kenneth Elam, brand new gold for the first time. And so this is extra exciting. In fact, I believe he crushed a few ranks at the same time, right? So that was pretty cool for him to go straight from bronze to silver to gold. I mean, unbelievable. So great, 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 great job. And I will pick up from where you left off, Mooney, last night on certification. You talked about in the month of March, we're going to do the 60-90. You know, we have this concept called a 90-day run, but some of you started it in February. So great job for those of you who helped us kick off this 90-day run in February. And I'm sure many of you, again, I didn't call your name, but you're going to be on this list because I'm seeing your number. So even if I didn't call your name, I'm congratulating you, because once we get everybody's name, I'll republish this list and we'll put it actually on social media. And so what I want to do real quick, we were on our corporate call Saturday, and Crystal Robinson, after we were talking, she made an analogy, okay? And I'm going to first kind of talk about what we first shared. So when I look at the numbers, you know, most of you know, I mean, again, we've been in the seasons of highs, we've been in the seasons of lows, the valley, okay? That's just a part of business. Business doesn't happen, you know, in a specific vertical line, okay? There's times in which you see vertical growth, but a lot of times, you know, you're going to see a number that constantly shifts and moves, but you just got to keep moving. You got to keep focused, okay? And so in the month of January, you know, we, you know, knew that that was a tough month, but guess what? It was actually bigger than our expectation based on forecast, because when you forecast, it's not about what you're hoping for, right? It's about what you can show based on prior numbers. We have to look at previous years, right? We have to look at the previous month. And so we do our forecast, right? So January slightly edged out our forecast. So we were excited about that, right? But it was nowhere near where we wanted to be. But it's exciting because here we are in this brand new year, and we're already seeing what they call a trajectory of growth, right? We're seeing business growth, and that's exciting. And not 10%, not 20%, but we're seeing a 38%. And here's what's really exciting about that number, guys. February is considered the shortest month of the year, right? It's the shortest month of the year, but yet we've already pulled off a big, big, huge number compared to the forecast and actually had a 38% growth. And I'll put that into historical perspective. We achieved what we achieved here with First Wakana, that became Akana, by measuring ourselves on a 30% growth curve. When you look at companies like PM International, when you look at companies that weren't the skyrocket companies, right? Sometimes you see those pop and drops, so those companies where they come out of nowhere and they've only been around for 2 or 3 years, right? And then it's just like skyrocketing growth, but then they drop and they fall off the map. And then sometimes they go out of business. In fact, most of the companies that have hit $1 billion in a short time frame in this space of network marketing are all out of business, okay? And so, but when you look at companies like PM International, and the reason why 30% was very significant to me was because that was their benchmark. It was a 30% growth curve year after year, and that propelled them into now in year 20, I think it was year 22, they hit $1 billion, but then their $2 billion came so much faster. Their $3 billion came so much faster, right? And so when I look at that 38% growth, that's a major, major deal. And that's something each and every one of you should be super proud of. If you understand the season in which we've been through since November, and now to see where we're at in this brand new year with brand new products, brand new momentum, so much excitement. And so Crystal shared on our call, she says, wow, this reminds me of the story of the bamboo tree. And that hit me because I said, you know what? That is the perfect analogy. It's really the perfect analogy because when you think about even your own business, and some of you might have fallen into this where you feel frustrated, you feel stuck, you're uncertain about the seeds that you planted, and you're wondering, oh my goodness, when am I going to reap my harvest, right? What's going on? Why did my CV not happen even though I went out and talked to so many people? I'm posting every day on social media. And so when you really look at the story of the bamboo tree, we know that it gives us many lessons, lessons on faith, on patience, on persistence, on really just not stopping. But it was really a Chinese farmer, okay, who was planting a seed. He was starting to water it and nurture it every single day. At the same time, he had planted a fern tree. And the fern tree, it grew like almost immediately. It was like, oh my goodness. And he started to lose hope. He started to lose faith. He started to feel like, what's wrong? I'm nurturing, I'm putting water on this tree every single day. My fern is already fully grown. And here we have just went through 4 years, and there was no growth. Can you imagine? See, most people can't stay consistent for 4 weeks, which is why most people in this type of industry fail. It's not because the industry fails, right? It's because we look at someone else's success and we want our success to happen overnight. We want that microwave mentality. We want to go through the drive-through and get everything right here and right now, but not understanding some of the biggest businesses in the world, some of the most unshakable businesses in the world had periods of time in which they didn't see that type of skyrocketing growth. Even when you think about companies like Amazon, right? We see the success of Amazon, but who was with Jeff in the garage, right? Who was with him when, guess what? Their first dividends they paid out were a penny, and that was after 9 years. 9 years. See, most people, the reason why their dreams aren't fulfilled is only because they give up too soon. We know that God's got a purpose and a plan for our life. And if you are here, there's no accident or there's a reason you're here. And so what you're going to want to do is be inspired by the story of the Chinese farmer, right? Because he then went through 6 weeks after being 4 years in a drought, after being 4 years with no growth. All of a sudden in year 5, he saw 6 weeks of explosive growth. And I want you to think about that for a second, guys, because when I think about our seasons in which we've been, there's times in which we were the firm, right? We planted seeds and those seeds grew. And that sometimes happens, right? We got started and had a great run. But see, it's the messy middle that really determines the longevity, because everybody can have a first 2 years. And we've seen it over and over. We see companies start every day. And there's always that 1 to 2 years, and then guess what? You don't hear anything else from them. They're out of business. Most businesses fail, okay, their first year, okay, let alone 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And so imagine now when we're seeing this explosive growth, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that you've been planting the seeds. You've been out there nourishing those seeds. You've been watering those seeds. The seeds have had the sunlight it needed, the rain that it needed. But guess what? All that's left now is for you to continue and have your faith, your persistence, and have your patience, okay? Understanding that there will be a day in which your faith will be rewarded, right? Your business is going to explode. And I see 2025, when we claimed it, we said this is going to be a big year for us, right? And we said this about almost 18 months ago. And again, we've been diligently working hard. You've been diligently planting seeds. We've been diligently bringing out new products. We've been diligently working to slim everything down we needed to have an efficient and lean company. And here we are, okay, in year 2025, and we're already starting the year off in the shortest month of the year, okay? It becomes one of our most explosive periods of growth. And that's something to be excited about. That's something to be encouraged about. And what you want to do right now is plant your flag, right? You want to start planting those seeds and nurturing them, watering them, and getting ready for a more explosive March. Just based on what we see, our projection now doubles March over February. I want you to think about that for a second. It doubles March. And so the question is, are you going to be a part of that explosion? And if you are, it starts where? With your CV, with your customers, and then you duplicate that. And that's how you build a diamond business month after month after month. See, anyone can recruit, right? You know, anyone can recruit somebody one time, and that person can choose to stay or go. But everyone can go out and get customers, right? Because customers are the longevity, they're the lifeline of the business. And so we want you to go out, plant those seeds, get those customers like never before. Because when you hit your CV in March, when you hit it in April, I can tell you this, most of you are going to automatically secure your trip to Bermuda. I can't wait. We're going to actually put all the details out because some of you have already more than halfway qualified for the trip, and some of you are in a position where by the end of this month, you will be fully qualified. And so I am super excited. You know, in fact, I want each and every one of you to go out and have an Akana day. Remember our motto for 2025, health, wealth, freedom, and legacy for every life we touch. We are moving forward in 2025. We are not looking back, and we're going to see you at the top, the very top, the tip top.